tea? What's the 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 tea?
Hello everyone, I am the Water Bear and welcome back to the Water Bear's Tea. And in this video, we're talking about Pluto, okay, and big business, all right? I'm entitling this video, Pluto Slays Big Business Yet Again, okay? And boy, do I have so much to share with you guys, all right? Usually on my channel, I talk a lot about like daily, weekly, and monthly astrology, tarot, numerology, because my main mission is giving you, personal empowerment, insight, guidance, turn up, whatever you need, but I really want to focus more on the individual, the collective, and empowering the people, which is why I offer my channel on YouTube, Instagram, the main places where there's lots of, individuals, okay? But astrology is not just beneficial for looking at like an individual's chart or how it's going to affect you, in your day by day. You can also look at astrology and see how it's affecting the global scale, okay? Because the planets are affecting everything on Earth, not just, our individual lives, okay? How we construct life, how we interplay with each other, major events on Earth, even earthquakes and major, natural disasters can be calculated through astrology. Okay, you check out my channel probably about a month and a half ago, whenever that most recent hurricane was, I found the chart of it, and in Puerto Rico, that was like the record-breaking hurricane, and I went and looked at the previous record-breaking hurricane, and the charts were so similar, it was insane. So I don't know if I talked about that on my YouTube, but it's on my Instagram at the least. Okay, so check that out if you want. But it just shows that astrology is amazing at looking at so many different trends. Okay, and so I was the other day, just scrolling, and I saw a post that talked about Forever 21 closing so many of their stores because they are filing for bankruptcy. And I was like, that's interesting. Like, wow, okay. And me being the person I am, I know nothing just happens. Nothing is just coincidence. So I went and did my research a little deeper. I was interested in how many retail stores were closing, because I've seen that as well. I've seen that around, like at the mall, there's no more Sears. There's so many different places. I worked at Abercrombie & Fitch when I was back in college, and that's no longer around. There's so many stores, okay, that are closing. And I started to think, I was like, I know astrology has something to do with this, okay? So I dug a little deeper and found out that over 40 retail stores are either having downgrading or filing for bankruptcy or completely closing, okay? And the majority of them, that's happened in 2019, but the rest of this 40, or it's more than 40 actually, the rest of the list I'm going to be showing you of retail stores will be closed by 2020 as well, okay? And so it's just insane looking at this list. I will be showing you the list after I explain kind of what this means. I did retail stores, and then I also looked at food chains and found over 20 food chains are also experiencing the same fate, okay? That's not coincidence, y'all. Any coincidence of just having about 60 businesses closing, main ones, okay? And so it has a lot to do with our boy Pluto, all right? And so let me chat all about it, okay? I'm really excited to get this out because this kind of shows you, what I'm going to be talking about is a lot more of the reason why I do the things I do with the Water Bear, and, the main mission of why I believe I'm here and what collectively is going on. This is a very pivotal point. This is not just 2019. Okay, I talk about it a little bit in a lot of other videos. On my page, my channel page on YouTube, I have an Age of Aquarius video. You can check that out, and I talk a lot about what all this is in way more detail. Okay, it's like an hour-long video. You really can understand my whole purpose, why I'm here. I talk a lot about that in that video. But basically, Pluto is the planet of transformation, the planet of rebirth, and the planet of endings and death and resurrection. Okay, and it makes sense because it literally is the last planet in the cycle. Anything past that, you leave our solar system, okay? And you leave this life, if that makes sense. The sun cannot no longer have connection with you, okay? And sun represents life, all right? And so, and I mean clearly, because hello, it heats up. And so Pluto, in the chart, wherever Pluto goes and whatever Pluto hits, it brings transformation, it brings endings, okay? And it brings this rebirth nature, all right? Pluto is correlated with Scorpio, all right? Pluto rules over the planet of Scorpio in the 8th house in astrology. And if you know Scorpios, it's all about the depth of something. It's about looking underneath the surface, not at what it just looks like, but really trying to get the true energetic understanding of what something is, and through looking and analyzing underneath something, and really like picking and looking at the details of something. Okay, I don't think it's ironic at all, okay, and there's no coincidence that I was analyzing so much and have so much research on all these stores and all this about Pluto, because it's Scorpio season, okay? So Pluto's a very big effects, is in big effects right now, so it makes sense that I would be doing Scorpio-type things, research, okay, and bringing out the truth of something, really showing the truth of something, okay? And so that's what this video is going to be here to do, to really explain Pluto, what he's doing in Capricorn, and tearing up all the big businesses. Okay, so I'll explain all that now. All right. So again, Pluto's all about transformation, power, control, and again, death and rebirth. Okay, and he moves through. He's the slowest moving planet because he is the farthest from the sun. Okay, and so like Mercury goes around the sun in like, I think 88 days, something like that. It's so fast, okay? Pluto takes 250 years to go around the sun, okay? And so his transits, when he meets back around, major change occurs, major transformation occurs when he goes his full circle around the sun, okay? Notice when you have your birthday, okay? That's when you're in when Earth is in the exact same place around the sun. Okay, that's when every time Earth is in the same place when you were born, around the sun, you have your birthday. You get what I'm saying? And so that happens once a year for us, okay? And so every time a planet meets a certain point at that restart, you have a new cycle, okay? So that's just to give a little tea. Again, I'm going to be going so deep, okay, into this, but I want to kind of give you an explanation of Pluto, but also a taste. I can talk hours about each of these things I'm talking about, so I want to make sure I'm keeping it consolidated, okay, and confined, all right? And so Pluto is currently in Capricorn and has been since 2008, and that's also very important. I'll talk about that in a second, okay? And he moves very slow. He will be in Capricorn until 2024, okay? That's 16 years, okay? Long, long time, okay? Like the sun moves through one sign in 30 days. That's like Scorpio season's 30 days long, okay? Pluto takes 16 years to get through one sign. So again, you can see that timing, all right? But Pluto's impact is slow, but is the strongest impact in the chart, okay? The most, it's death and rebirth. The most transformation comes through Pluto, okay? Also, I'm going to go ahead and apologize for the video. I don't know. The Mercury retrograde is now in the full effect, okay? Everything's fine. Everything's plugged in and set up great. But my camera has been acting crazy. So on occasion, it's going to glitch and go a little frozen. But I can see when it happens, so I'll try to bring it back, okay? And just kind of wait it out until we get clarity again. We can continue, okay? It's happened in my previous video. It's happening now. So I just want to let you know. Yeah, okay? I'm sorry about it. I get very frustrated because it's aggravating. But nobody can control it. Okay, I've tried. Okay, so just bear with me, all right? And I also want to just keep this live. I love just live sharing these kind of things. I do have my notes, but I want to just kind of channel this live. And so all cutting and pausing with the glitches, it just throws me off. So bear with me through the glitches if it does get pretty bad, okay? Hopefully it won't. So again, 16 years Pluto moving through Capricorn, okay? We'll see the end of that in 2024. All right. So what does Capricorn represent? So that'll show you what's being reborn, what's, ending and dying, what's being transformed. Okay. Capricorn is the 10th zodiac sign, and it's all about climbing to the top of the mountain. The 10th house is about your career sector, who you are, and who you're known for. Okay, your legacy, right? Like for example, my 10th house is mainly covered in Gemini. My midheaven is Gemini. Okay, so my Capricorn energy, you could say, would be very shaded by Gemini. So the Capricorn energy is like your career, what you're going to be known for. Gemini is communication. So if you think about me, what's the main thing you think about? Communication, because that's all I'm doing on my channel is talking and writing and sharing, okay? Information. That's very Gemini, okay? So that's why my career, I'm going to be known for sharing information. Make sense? Okay? So that's Capricorn's energy. It's about, literally think of capital, capitalism, all these things of it's about the structures that allow you to facilitate a career. You know what I'm saying? It's also about, Capricorn rules the government. Okay? Capricorn rules structuring, how we structure society. Okay? Because your career is a main way of how you're a part of society and how you're structured into society. Okay? It's what you're doing in society. You know what I'm saying? So Capricorn's energy is any planet moving through Capricorn. Whoa, come on, bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back, bring it back. Okay. Any planet moving through Capricorn then is going to focus on your structures, focus on your career. Okay, what's pretty cool is I have Capricorn in my 5th house of your hobbies and fun and excitement. And growing up, guess what my favorite thing to do was playing outside? Making businesses. I literally used to get like cardboard boxes and play drive-through with my sister, or we would ride our bikes, but like there would be certain lights we'd stop at, so we'd act like we are a part of society, you know. So my Capricorn energy is in my 5th house of fun and expression, so I express. Whoa, I'm telling you guys, it's a lot, and it gets on my nerves. Okay, but here's what it is. My hobbies are therefore number one going to benefit my career, but also very career-based, okay? Growing up, I sold up until I was like 12. I sold CDs, okay? I used to make my own CDs, and even I used to put the labels on them, design the labels, okay? I was like 9 doing this, 9, 10, okay? I used to do DJing for parties at like family reunions and stuff. I remember one family reunion, I made the family reunion t-shirts, okay? And I'm looking back, I'm like, I was like 11. Computer, I'm gonna need this camera to get it together. Okay, because I want to get this video out, okay, and this is aggravating me, but just, you're going to get this info, guys, regardless, okay? So, yeah, I was making, like, t-shirts, okay? I remember anytime we had, like, a presentation about, like, a family presentation, a birthday, something, I was the one coming up with the, you know, presentation, doing the, you know, PowerPoint slides and all that, okay? That's my Capricorn 5th house, okay? Any kind of fun hobby thing I did had to be kind of productive. You know what I'm saying? Like playing outside, I wanted to play drive-through. I literally was like, okay, I'm going to be the business and you're going to come back. Like that is Capricorn. Okay. And so with Pluto going through Capricorn from 2008 until until 2024, okay, that is major change, major transformation in careers. So notice as well, like how like self-employment has boomed, okay, since 2008. That's something that's steadily growing, okay? Pay attention to that as well. And this is the thing, before, you know, recently, you know, like all this big business and, you know, industrial revolution, all that is actually extremely new when you think about the human race. We've been here for like 200,000 years, okay, on Earth. And the Industrial Revolution started in the beginning of the 1900s, okay, and maybe in the 1800s. I don't have the time, okay. You see when you clap, that clears the energy. It's aggravating, okay. Have to just get to that point. Sometimes you got to just clear that energy out, okay. Get out the way, okay. But anyways, before the Industrial Revolution, this past like 100 or so, 200 years, everybody was self-employed. Okay, because you just did. That's where last names came from. You know what I'm saying? Like think about back in the day. You know, it's like if you were, like an ironsmith. Okay, your name would have something similar to that as your last name because you were known for what you did. Okay? And so now with Pluto going through Capricorn and doing all the transformation I'm going to be sharing about what's happening, okay, he's really giving us a rebirth and killing away kind of all of the excess big business that occurred, okay, and bringing us back to the simplistic way of you have your skill and you offer your skill. If you're a farmer, you're going to be a farmer. You know what I'm saying? You make shoes, you're going to make shoes. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you do, you do. Okay? And so that is kind of what we're seeing. Okay? The career change, right? I also talked about its government structures. Notice since 2008 how much shifting has occurred in the government. Okay? So much is changing around now. Even, think about even with the euro and thinking about it over there in Europe. America, we already know how much shifting is occurring here. Okay, there's protests all over the world going on right now. And even thinking into 2008, what happened in 2008? The Great Recession, the financial crisis. Okay, and Capricorn rules. It's big business, but it's also how we structure our finances, like the collective, the money, that kind of thing, taxes, all of that stuff, higher authorities, higher government, big business, big government, okay, is all Capricorn, all right? So for the year, the same year, all right, Pluto doesn't go in Capricorn but once every 250 years, okay, for 16 years, right? And so for the ingress, when he moved into Capricorn in 2008, we were in, come on, we were in the heaviest part of the recession, in the start of that recession. You get what I'm saying? Like, does this, okay. And if you know astrology, when planets transit into certain houses, certain things happen. Like for me personally, when Saturn, which is the planet of structure, Saturn rules over Capricorn, okay? When Saturn moved and crossed over my IC, which is the bottom of my chart ruling my home, I moved into my first apartment on my own, okay? Where I had to y'all, this is a test and a journey, okay? So if you're watching this, thank you for your patience, okay? I'm really trying with this camera. It's getting on my nerves, but I really got to get this video out, okay? I really do. It's great info, okay? When Saturn crossed over my IC, literally the day, and Saturn moves kind of slow as well. Saturn, it takes him like 3 years to get through a sign, okay? He moves about a degree every week or so, okay? Come on. So as soon as he crossed over my IC, the day it happened, I moved into my apartment where I had to and that was the first apartment where I had to pay on my own, that kind of thing. Like, it was like, okay, here's your structure. You know what I'm saying? And so when Pluto moved into Capricorn, as soon as he moved, boom, the Great Recession. You know what I'm saying? So this shows you, the impact of Pluto. Okay? That was the financial crisis, literally 2008, the same year that Pluto moved into and began this journey in Capricorn. Okay? Also notice, Pluto is... Y'all, this screen thing, if you watch my videos, this does not happen this often. It's happening right now. This is just to piss me off, okay? Don't, come on, okay? I know you're patient, but for me to literally be trying to give this out every second I look up, the thing is buffering, gets on my nerves. And I've restarted the videos before, there's nothing I could do, okay? But I want to get this out right now. Okay, regardless. All the shifting occurring. Pluto, remember I talked about, is the ruler of Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, remember I talked about as well, is the underneath, the truth. All right, and you really know what's really, really real. Because I'm getting done with this anyway. The reason this is buffering this much is because I'm speaking on that truth that the certain energies don't want me to share. Okay, because I'm talking about the government. I'm talking about the corruption that's getting revealed. And anytime I try not to bring this up. But on my videos, when I do live streams, when I make certain videos that are a little too touchy around government issues, around certain things, buffering, my videos don't want to download, it takes me 6 or 7 times to upload an IGTV, okay? only the IGTVs that have something to do with the, government. Okay, when I was posted up a couple weeks ago about the march, that took 7 times for me to upload. But if I'm uploading about random, like, oh, just feeling good, I don't have that problem. Okay, so anytime it's something deep, something I want to share that really is going to have an impact on y'all, okay, I get resistance. And this is so aggravating, okay? But I'm a strong girl. We're going to continue anyway, past the resistance, okay? Because I don't care about the resistance. It can't get me down, okay? So bear with me, guys. We're going to continue through this, okay? We really are. We really are, all right? But I just gets on my nerves because I know, I can feel it. You know what I'm saying? You can feel when there's certain resistance and things aren't working right for us. There's a reason why this is not working right, okay? It's pissing me off. But because I know the reason, I'm going to counter it and do the video anyway, okay? They do this to discourage me, so I'll stop and do it later, and then it'll be different. But I don't have I'm inspired for this video now. I have my notes now, so it's going to come out the best now. If I wait, it's not going to be good. You know what I'm saying? So, guys, I'm so sick of this buffering, but just stay with me. Okay, here we go. So, Scorpio is all about bringing out the truth, revealing, okay? And the second I start talking about it again, what happens? Regardless, notice how much truth has been revealed about the government, okay? Within this period of 2008 till now, I don't watch the TV anymore. I don't listen to the news anymore. I did not vote the past voting period, okay? My trust in the government has completely done a 180, okay? And that is Pluto. That's the point of Pluto, okay? He's here to reveal the truth, all right? And now the majority of people are starting to realize that their trust in higher authorities needs to have a little bit more discernment, okay? We're starting to realize the people that make the laws aren't abiding by the laws. The most corrupt people are actually making them, okay? So we're having these revelations like, oh my God, like about the corruption, okay? Since 2008 as well, notice how much shifting has and change we've done about regulations on like the smog and stuff that they release. Okay, these big businesses, big manufacturing companies, okay? There's been regulation on that, all right? So there's a lot of change going on in business, in big government, okay? Whether it's corruption being revealed, okay, majorly since 2008, whether that is shifting and changing in what we want as a career, okay? Because back in 2007, back before 2014, 2013, you didn't hear a lot of people talking a whole bunch of trash about their work. It was just like, yeah, I got to go to work, and people put in all these hard hours and stuff like that. People even had 2 and 3 jobs, that kind of stuff. But now, people are a lot more sensitive about work. We want to be enjoying ourselves. We don't want these big, authorities over us anymore. Okay. And that has a lot to do with Pluto. Okay. So that kind of explains a little bit of, what Pluto is, what it's doing in Capricorn. Okay. Now I want to give a little bit more tea into what I think about it. Then I'm going to show the list. Okay. And then I'm going to share my opinions on what this is now going to bring for us, what we're going to be seeing in the future because of Pluto. Okay, so much is going to be changing because of Pluto. All right, and so stay tuned till the end because that's really going to share what we're going to be seeing in the future. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about before I show the list of like the 60 different stores that are closing. Okay, I want to talk about this one very important thing, and I hope they let me say this, okay? Pluto takes, of course, okay, I had to restart it. Hopefully it helps a little bit for a little while, okay? Pluto takes 250 years, remember, all right? And if you notice, I've really been paying attention to the way, like, dynasties and the way, big powers, I'd say, how they reign. Okay, even going back to like the Egyptians, the Romans, it seems that every 200, 250 years or so, there's some kind of change in power. There's some kind of transformation that occurs. That is Pluto. Okay, because Pluto, that's the only thing that can outlast 250 years. Humans, we can't live that long. Okay, so we will never be alive for our Pluto return to come back to the place when it was born, when we were born. Okay, because I would have to be at least 250 to see that. All right, but countries and governments and empires, all these things throughout time have lasted longer than 250 years. But if you really look, that's a lot of how we divide them is by about 250 years, and that has a lot to do with Pluto. Okay, so let me drop this tea. This is the main reason your girl is here. When I found this out, I was like, oh my God, now it makes sense why, I've been so called to the astrology and why I've never really felt an affinity with big structures, big governments, and any of that. Okay. When the United States was we signed the Declaration back in 1776, Pluto was in Capricorn. At 27 degrees of Capricorn. Okay. In 2023, and this is going to hit 3 times, Pluto's going to hit over the point where it was when the United States was created 3 times by 2024 when it moves into Aquarius fully. Okay. What do you think is going to be occurring? We already can see there's a major transformation occurring in America in the aspects of Capricorn. But I have a feeling that some major endings and rebirth will be occurring by 2023, 2024. Okay? We have Saturn also moving into Aquarius by then. In my generation, that's when I will be having my Saturn return and when my generation will be coming to strong power. Okay? My Saturn is in Aquarius. About how to restructure the future. Okay? So between 2020, when Saturn moves into Aquarius for the first time, and 2024 are really going to be in this middle ground period of the last years of America's 250-year cycle and this new beginning. Okay? And so, and things only heat up as a planet. If you know about astrology as well, and you track your transits, the closer a planet gets to its return to meeting the exact place, the more intense things get. Okay? So Pluto right now is at almost 21 degrees of Capricorn out of 30 degrees. Each sign has 30 degrees. And Pluto, when America was started, was at 27 degrees. So we're 6 degrees away. Okay? So this next 3 years-ish, 3 to 4 years, Pluto's going to trek up these next 6 degrees in this cycle. Okay? So major things are going to be occurring. Major. Okay? Major. Okay? So that's tea I wanted to spill. Okay? And I don't want to get too deep into, what I'm thinking of exactly what's going to be occurring because it's a lot of different things. Right? But I just wanted to peek that, 250-year cycle. Not only are we seeing all this shedding in governments all around the world, okay, and change all around the world, all right, but notice one of the main forerunners of the world is America. What we do, a lot of people do, okay. So notice that. Just Pluto has plans, okay, and we're really seeing all the collapsing, all the corruption. There's major change that's going to be occurring, okay. And so now, let's get into this list, shall we? Okay, and this is really interesting. I was reading, the majority of the reason why all these businesses are going into bankruptcy or just downgrading in general, and they're all saying a lot of it has to do with tariffs, okay, and taxing. It keeps rising, all right. It also has to do with a lot of the, what's the word I'm looking for? The consumer pool, I'll say, okay, is moving online, right? So a lot of stores, they can't compete with online, okay? So they're closing, you know what I'm saying? And also as well, lastly, especially with the food chains, my generation, It's growing. There's way more millennials now. Well, not way more, but there's now more millennials than there are baby boomers. Okay? And so that means from 30, and just a generation from about 35 under is starting to become one of the main populations. Okay? And all the people 35 and under are born with certain astrological transits that are literally here to break us out of limitation from the past. Okay? I'll talk about this again. I talk about this every once in a while. I talk about this in 2 of my previous videos with the Pluto Scorpio generation. And I will be making a video coming up soon. Hopefully it won't be as buffered as this one. And notice now it's like fine. With the Pluto Scorpio generation, talk about that. Okay? But literally looking astrologically, you can see, starting with Pluto Scorpio, 1983-ish, the babies born from then on literally have its signature. It's a signature in our chart. We're here to break us out of these limitations and get us into the new age. Okay? And so the majority of people I know, at least, we don't really like, certain food chains. We're trying to be more healthy. Okay? And also there's a growing gap now between the super cheap food. Okay? People still are okay with McDonald's and super cheap food, so that's not going anywhere yet. Right? But the middle ground, nobody really wants to go to, say, Applebee's as much anymore. You'd rather go to a small business, maybe. People, and I'm noticing that a lot more now, there's a turn away from the chains towards something more, it's small business. It's family owned. It's more unique. It's healthier. It's organic. You know what I'm saying? We're going away from all that big, massive businesses. That's not cute anymore to have, and it's fading. Starbucks is like one of the only places that is still very popular where a brand outside of high fashion brands is something that you are showing off. People don't walk around with the Aeropostale Abercrombie shirts as much anymore. Okay, now when I was in middle school back in 2008, okay, 2007, even 2010, 2011, everybody wore the polo, and Abercrombie, all these things. It was about the labels, okay, because we were big. But now notice the shift and the change, okay, as we get older and are starting to get, when I was in middle school, I didn't truly 100% know who I was. I was following what I was being taught. But now that we're getting older and coming to our authentic self, we don't want that anymore. Okay? My generation, a lot of my clothes, a lot of my clothes are thrifted, okay? Or in a place where it's specifically designed. I don't want to wear a whole bunch of stuff other people have on, okay? So you can start to see this is why a lot of things are starting to shed. Not only is Pluto ending things based on the structure itself, it's also ending things because we're a consumer society. Okay? Come on. And if we don't consume, they don't make any money. Right? And notice there's a major generation gap between the previous consumers and my generation's consumers. We don't want the same things. Okay? All the big houses and mansions and things that previous generations wanted. Okay, maybe down the line, I might have one, raise my kids or something. I don't know. But I'm not looking for that. I want something. I'd rather have a lot of small places all around the world. You know what I'm saying? Come on screen so that I could travel around, Airbnb it, or just have different places, different apartments all around the world. And that's more, what I'm seeing in my generation. It's not about, certain things. It's a major change happening, okay? Meaning there needs to be a change in the government and the way things are structured, okay? Also, as well, I'm noticing people in my generation as well, we're older souls. We don't... Come on, screen. Work with me, girl. We don't like authority, okay? I was one of the first generations where there was metal detectors in schools, and the administration had to put on some extreme rules to keep us kind of subdued, because my generation, we're one of the first generations that are not about being held down. We're not going to just go with what people say. I'm gonna question it. I'm gonna, see, no, I don't know how that I feel about that. You know, we're gonna test certain things and see the truth of things, okay? Which is the main reason why we're not going for what the consumers, when we want, what the companies want us to consume. Because I can see that it's like, I don't really like that for me. You know, that's my generation, what we're bringing in, okay? And so that's killing away a lot of these big businesses, which is like, yay, okay? So that's the majority. So that's the majority of the chat about, you know, Pluto and big business. Now I'm going to share with you guys the list, okay? And wow, it's a list. It surprised me. There's some shops in there. I'm like, dang, Top Shop, like that's my store, okay? But it is what it is. Like literally, all Top Shop stores are gone, okay? That was my store, right? Now only online, okay? So a lot is changing, guys. A lot is changing. So regardless, after the list, I'm going to talk about what this means. What is going to be happening from this, okay? So stay tuned. Whew. What a list, right? Okay, so many stores, all right? So that was a list, y'all. Retail stores and the food chains, okay? So many of them, and they're either downgrading, filing for bankruptcy, and putting their stores online or fully closed, okay? So There we go. And now the last part of this video, I want to share my opinion. I want to share what this means. Okay? So, again, I talked about big business is extremely new to human history in general. It's mainly the past 100, 200 years, okay, of this. So it's basically going back to what it was. Okay, so you're going to see a lot more people just doing their own service, their own skill. So if you do not have a skill, get a skill. Begin to master that skill. Begin to really, strengthen and build in whatever skill that is. Because, these jobs we have, call center jobs, notice all those stores, retail jobs, so many jobs that we once could have, they're not going to be around anymore, okay? It's going to be working for small businesses. It's going to be being your own employment, okay? And of course, certain things, doctors, but that's even going to be shifting and changing because notice a lot of people are losing trust in doctors, okay? In medicine, and it's becoming more, we're going more to natural medicine again. And that's, again, going back to the past, okay? Now, really quick, I want to peep. The age of Aquarius are moving into Aquarius rules innovation from using the past, okay? So though a lot of things are going to go back to how they were, they're going to be kind of tweaked with innovative things for the future. That makes sense, okay? Because it's a blend, all right? It's not just, okay, let's go back to the old days. That's not really it. We're going back to more simple times, but I think that's going to really help benefit us with the technology that we do have, okay? Like all the technology that we do have for medicine, I don't think we're going to just scrap that because look at how much innovation we've gotten. We've gotten so many cures for diseases and so many things. But we're going to look at it from a more spiritual, holistic viewpoint. You get what I'm saying? Natural medicine teaches you that it's not about fighting off a certain illness. It teaches you an illness is actually a certain sign, a message from your body. Okay? And also natural medicine, holistic medicine really teaches you it's about keeping your whole body healthy so that you don't have to go to the doctor for an ailment that comes down the line. You get what I'm saying? If you're always eating healthy and taking, your herbs and your supplements, you don't need that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what we're moving more into. Looking at it holistic, looking at it the big picture rather than I have this sickness, I have this ailment, this something is hurting me. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll be using in the future that mentality, the natural, and seeing, I wonder how I could combine the innovative technologies that we've had with this older, this more simple mindset. Okay, so we're going to be seeing that happen. I wrote down this also clears up franchise industry and monopolies. Okay, think back before, think back to even like 5-10 years ago. So many small businesses, family-owned businesses were going out of business, closing because Walmarts were coming in and all these big places, all the shopping malls were coming across. And I remember so many people talking about and just seeing in the news the decline in small business, the decline in other businesses because of these monopolies, because of these franchises. Okay. Well, now look at karma. It's going away. So when you see, this is over 40 retail stores and 20 food chain stores. You know what I'm saying? Once those are leaving, and it's funny because some of the stores that when I was reading like what they were saying about, filing bankrupt, they were like, this is completely part of the plan and, it's to get our money back right. We will be back on top again. Like, and I'm like, don't play games. If this was planned, okay, you wouldn't need to. Bankruptcy is not something. Oh, we're gonna do our business and then we're gonna file. I don't have bankruptcy planned into my head of my businesses, okay, unless But that's not. Anyways, regardless, this is what happens because of Pluto. Okay, they're all trying to play games. Oh, we're restructuring, and so we're just removing all of our stores online because we're just restructuring. No, when you were doing good, it was booming, and if you were doing good, it would continue to boom. But because you're not, okay, let's be honest, okay, you're downgrading and you're ending and you're closing, all right. So that's what we're really seeing a lot of. So I'm happy for this because that means the small businesses, the family-owned businesses are going to be coming back, okay. What also is happening with everything moving online is now the online has to compete with the online people we know, okay? There are certain people now from Instagram and all these, Facebook, YouTube. I now know people I want to buy my lotions from. I now know people I want to buy my clothes from, buy my jewelry from, buy my herbs from, buy my whatever from. Okay, so I won't really even need those big businesses as much anymore. Okay, which is finally giving the people the chance to take the power. Okay, which is like, yay. Okay, so because you saw Walmart was on the list, right? So as these places start to fade out, and in the next year, we're not going to see like everything gone. Okay, now these next 6 years might be a lot of change. Okay, but this new start, this new cycle, is a new 250-year cycle we're seeing. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of changes happening for us as things grow. All right, and so really pay attention to that. Excuse me, I'm not trying to say like every single Walmart is going to be gone by 2023. That's not true. But come on, screen. The massive overhaul where it's taking over, where nobody can compete against them, that's going to be gone. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be able to really give power back to the people, okay? Which is like, yay, right? I also want to share, okay, all these stores are gone. That's the malls, okay? So mall closures, major mall closures, which is going to be so great because it's going to reduce in the amount of concrete and parking lot spaces, okay? I remember a few years back as well, they were speaking about how much concrete we were adding, okay? And that it was just for parking. There was so much need for parking, more parking, all right? But I'm going to start to see a decline in that. We're going to start to see a decline in that. Because where are we parking if we're not going to the mall? You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a decline in, I even wrote down, that's the next thing. Okay. So malls, you're going to see way less malls. And I've even seen, driving around, a lot of the, strip malls and things like that, they're just empty. Okay. It's like there was once a grocery store there and like a few chains. Come on, screen. But the grocery store is gone now, so the chains are basically either barely holding on or gone. Okay. And so you're going to see that even more. I've seen, like, in the city I'm in right now, there's like 4 or 5 throughout the city empty strip malls that are just closed. Okay. And every once in a while they keep trying to put like a gym there, a Planet Fitness, to try to bring it back, but it doesn't last. Okay. And so those spaces are eventually going to be cleared. Okay. Because there's no need anymore for that. All right. So what was once there? Trees. Okay. So there's going to be now an opportunity. Before, it's kind of like, where are we going to plant new trees and that kind of thing when we're still pushing so hard to tear down so much, to build all these malls and stuff. But since since there's stores closing, nobody's really like, oh, I want to start a mall right now. That's not smart to start open a mall when there's no stores. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to really see closures of that. Okay. And then there will be way less need for all of that construction. Okay. Which is like, yay. All right. So then there'll be more need, and not more need, but more people will be it'll be easier to bring more, trees, more nature back to life and back to earth when there's not so much, pull to and money and greed around big business and all these stores and malls. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense, okay? It's like the people that are, the greedy and wanting to tear down the trees for all these, malls and stuff, they're not going to feel as motivated now because there's no money in it. That's a better way of explaining it, okay? So we're going to see major mall closures, major reduction in concrete and parking lots, okay? All those tall parking buildings, parking garages and all that stuff. Not much need for it anymore. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Now the last two. We'll cut down on travel and car travel as well. Okay. Because we're going to have less places to go. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be more, I wrote down carpool is probably going to increase, and public transit is probably going to increase as well. Okay. Because now you don't have people really going as much to the stores. Things are more online. Okay. But, and the need, there's already car dealerships. Car dealerships in general are already going away. Okay, I have a family member who works for a car dealership and is always talking about, how hard it is and how, what's going on with car dealerships and how people are not really buying cars as much anymore. But also, just the dealership in general is less needed because there's online options for cars. Okay, and then the car dealership then could, instead of having every car to buy, could just have a few cars. You know what I'm saying? And models. Okay, what model do you want? Okay, try this car out, and then the one you want, we'll order it for you. Then you don't need these massive ass car dealerships taking up. So, like, think about, there's not just one. Like on my highway exit, there's 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's actually 5. Okay, in one strip, just like boom, boom, boom. If that was gone, maybe to 1 dealership, or 2, maybe, you know how much space would be there? You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a parking lot full of cars. Okay, and so that's going to be gone. You know what I'm saying? Which gives us more room and more space, which is really great. The one thing I did say, though, is this may increase control over the people. And this is the thing that's kind of, as we are in this shift, the people of power are going to want to continue. It's not like they're like, oh, big business is going away. All right, well, looks like my time's over to make money. No. These government agencies, these big businesses are now trying every way they can to gain new power. Okay, and new control in some new way. So the only thing I'm like, with more public transit reliance because less car focus, that's great because we can really get, eco-friendly public transit to work, working towards that. And again, there's less impetus, there's less like drive for it with everybody driving cars right now because people are like, I don't care about public transit, I got my car. But think about if you ask New Yorkers that, okay, that would make more sense because the majority of New Yorkers use the public transit in some way. So making it more eco-friendly, I'm sure so many people in New York would vote for that. So if we have that, come on screen, if we have that widespread more around, well, then that would make sense. You would have more people wanting eco-friendly public transit. But from living in New York for 7 years on public transit, the days when things were shut off, or the days like, oh, this line's not working, or there's a blizzard, so we're closing all the trains, then you realize how you don't have that much freedom. So that's the only thing. It's like, I'm all about freedom for the people, at least until we can trust the government and we got new people appointed. Okay, and the governments, we now realize, we now have restructured the infrastructure of the government to support the people and not the officials. Okay, once that's good, I may trust that. Okay, now until then, though, I would advise keep your car. Okay, because you need that freedom just in case. You never know. We need to be able to get out. Okay, so that's what I had to say about that. Screen. I feel like this video, 5 minutes of the video is just the buffering from the video, which is like. But again, if you've stayed with me this long, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much. If you're getting all this information, I'm so excited to share it out. But, technology is not perfect, okay? The last thing, with all these things moving online, this is adding to the great divide I've been talking about, okay? So, I'm going to try to keep this brief about kind of what it's saying. Mama Earth is on a dimension shift. She's rising in vibration. So all the people and all the animals, all the beings on Earth are doing the same, which is why you're seeing so many people waking up, okay? Wanting more for themselves, expanding within themselves, breaking out of limitations, all these things, okay? But what's going to happen is not everybody's on this boat for new transformation and new awakening, okay? What you're going to start to see happen is a divide, and everybody's starting to feel it. People who want to grow, want to expand, want to love themselves more, want to, elevate, are waking up, are starting to separate from the ones that are not, okay? And Yeah, basically. Okay. And so what's going to happen is you're going to start to see this dimension shift where we're both living in the same world, but there's people living hell on earth and then people living heaven on earth based on your frequency. Okay. Because, come on. Because if you know back, looking deep into spirituality, it's what's on the inside that shows the outside. When I'm feeling really great and amazing, everywhere I go, I see that. Okay. And as I improve myself, as I learn to respect myself more, as I learn to love myself more, everyone mirrors that. Okay. When I go out in public now, I don't have anybody talking any kind of halfways to me. I don't have anybody. People be holding open doors and all kind of stuff because that's how I treat myself now. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so my reality is shifted and changed. Okay. And so that's what you're going to see, the divide. Okay. And this moving online is going to really emphasize that to separate, okay? Because the people will either interact, okay, and go, because like, okay, yeah, everything's moving online, but that also means that there's more small businesses growing, and there's more space to go outside and be outside in nature and that kind of stuff. High vibe people are going to want to be out in nature and want to go explore and meet new other businesses and new people, all these things. People who aren't there are going to want to stay at home, and they're going to stay online, okay? Literally 2 or 3 days ago, I was walking through my neighborhood, and I came across this guy who was selling something in the neighborhood, basically. And just my energy, I have a welcoming kind of presence, unless I'm kind of doing my own thing. And so he just walked up to me and started having a conversation, because that just happens, And I was talking to him, and he was saying, like, he's having a hard time, and, he in the neighborhood because nobody's very friendly. Anytime he answers the door, people are slamming the door in his face. People have cussed him out, saying get off his property. People have tried to call the police on him. And my neighborhood doesn't even have a no trespassing, no soliciting sign, so they can if they want to. You know what I'm saying? And I was just talking to him about that. I was like, wow, it's crazy. Every time, right when I clap, it wants to go away a little bit. I was like, wow, that's just so sad that that's the way the world is going now. There's more and more miserable people. You know what I'm saying? And like, it just sucks. Like, I'll be walking and waving to people, and nobody wants to wave at me anymore. And like, people are just more, recluse and negative. Okay, because of all the craziness and shifting happening in the world, right? And so, it really showed me. I was like, wow, that's very true. The divide is happening where people are either getting more positive and more high vibration, or more negative and more low vibration, more pessimistic and more reclusive. Okay. And so, or people are getting more accepting of themselves and their authentic self and are wanting to share and express themselves more. Right. So you're really gonna start to see that divide. Okay. And so that's the last thing I want to talk about, guys. Everything's a lot with all these things, everything moving online, and also the internet is ruled by Aquarius. Okay, so it makes sense that as we move into the age of Aquarius, the internet is still gaining so much influence, right? And that's the main reason why I am where I am, why I am the way I am, and where I am the place I am now, because of the internet. So much information I was able to research, so much knowledge I was able to take. Now, the government, they can say something, but we can look it up and see if it's true, that kind of thing. Before the internet, there was a lot, we weren't as connected, we weren't as informed. But now that we have that information, it's allowing for all this transformation to occur, and it's giving the power to the people. Okay? Before we had to listen fully to the news. Now I can look it up myself, you know what I'm saying? Before we had to listen to, all these officials and higher ups to tell us what to do, to tell us what's going on, to tell us this and that. But now we can get it on our own and connect with each other. Okay? And so that is removing the need of that higher up, which is the main energy that's been suppressing the human race for so long. Okay? So this is kind of what you're seeing. All right? And this is why I made this video, to show how Pluto is coming through and slaying the day. Okay? So hopefully you enjoyed this video, guys. I love getting this out. I love doing the research for this video. I think it's very, very important, and it's very, very insightful of what's coming up. And yeah, so if you like this video, go ahead and share, comment, and like the video. I'm always so grateful for everybody that likes and comments and shares. If you're not subscribed by now and watching this whole video, all this buffering, go ahead and subscribe, all right? And that's what I have, guys. If you want a personal session with me or want more information, check out my website and my services. The link is below. Much love, guys. I'll talk to you later.